Do you ever feel like you care too much? Like sometimes you overinvest and it never comes back. I'll give you a nice example. You might want to go and give someone a gift for their birthday, or maybe they're going through a hard time and you think about the perfect thing that would resemble their importance in your life. And you've got to drive far away to get this gift. It's an hour drive because they're the only place who make this high quality thing that you know they will appreciate. And you give it to them and the response is, "Thanks so much." And you feel deflated. You feel almost unappreciated, or maybe you even feel insecure, like, did I just go way further than I needed to here? Is this like not as valuable as I thought it was going to be? That's a nice way to look at it as well. Do you ever feel like you overvalue things and other people don't see the value that you put into it? Is this something you experience on a regular basis? If it is, it's likely that you're oversensitive or hypersensitive, more sensitive than others. And that actually is not a bad thing. I'm going to show you in this video how this is a superpower and you can actually utilize your hypersensitivity to change your life. You can manifest a different reality far easier than those who are not sensitive. And what did they look like? How do you know the difference? Those people who were in school, the jocks, nothing ever offended them. No matter what you said, it was always a joke. No matter what they said, it was always a joke. But you were slightly more offended. You took things to heart. Your mom jokes didn't land very well with you. That is hypersensitivity. And this is something I'm going to show you in today's video how you can use to literally manifest your future. You can use your sensitivity. And it covers these three main points. But after these 3 points, I'm going to take you through how you can amplify your sensitivity to actually start manifesting things. It's not the most comfortable experience, but once you get the hang of using this technique, you will find that things come to you so much easier. Not only that, people don't have power over you anymore. They will not have the power to change how you feel based on what they do or say. So guys, I'm going to jump right into it now, starting off with number 1. You will be more aware. Sensitive people are far more aware of things because it matters to you to express meaning. You're somebody who doesn't like being misunderstood. It's really important to you that someone knows exactly where you're coming from. I do this all the time, and I battled with hypersensitivity. When I was a kid in school, I used to get worked up really easily. When someone would say something, I would feel all of my emotions were out of control. And that's something you might be experiencing too. Or maybe you experienced as a younger child and have just shoved your emotions away because it's easier than learning how to control them. If that fits you, there is a way to get through it. And that's what I'm going to show you later down over here. But this awareness gives you a super signal to tell when someone's being dishonest, when someone's hiding something, when someone isn't being completely sincere. You can feel this stuff. Your sensitivity makes you hyper aware of people's body language, but also the tonality in their voice, things that they use to convince people. You become very aware of. Something really interesting that I worked on a project with a friend of mine in the UK who has this brilliant AI business. I can't really speak about exactly what it is and what he's doing. What he was doing in this business was figuring out certain elements of sales and how changing seemingly insignificant things would impact the outcome of a sales procedure. And what we actually found out was that if you go to the note of G sharp or A flat when you are speaking, people are more inclined to buy from you. We found that if you do a sales call at that pitch, people are more inclined to listen and they're more attentive. And it's really incredible because this is to do with tonality, but people have this response. Now, whether that's conscious or unconscious in most people is actually the point of this video. As oversensitive people, you might not know what it is that you are clicking into, that you are tapping into with this sensitivity, but you know when people are being sincere or insincere. And this is one of your superpowers. It's about trusting your gut. I'm sure a lot of you have heard it before. Trust your gut, it always knows best. You actually have this on a much higher level. So you can use it to your advantage, and we're going to use this when it comes to manifesting in a little bit. Next is your amplified emotional intelligence. Your EQ is your ability to understand how people feel. So empathy and sympathy are a lot easier for you to access than other people. And this can be a huge problem in relationships, especially when you feel that you aren't understood at that deep emotional level. You're not understood about the feeling you are speaking about. Something that I've battled with as well for a long time, expressing what I'm actually trying to feel. And oftentimes, women speak more about how they feel and men speak more about what they mean. This is just typically how things go. Now, I'm somebody who's developed the ability to do both. So when it comes to expressing what I mean, I can do that through how I feel, and most sensitive people can. Your emotional intelligence makes you basically superhuman. You can read into people and what they're feeling. Now, this isn't something that goes into mysticism and psychic powers. I'm not saying it's not that. I'm not discrediting that, but this is something that we all actually have access to. You will get the vibe and know immediately when someone is unapproachable. You'll get the same vibe knowing that someone definitely wants to be approached and be approached by you. This emotional intelligence makes you incredible at social interactions. Now, a lot of these people will be extroverted. And the reason they're extroverted is because they're so good at knowing who they can and can't speak to that it all just comes naturally and easily. You will also get people on the other end of that who are a lot more introverted based on connecting with people and feeling a sense of fear with that energy. Your sensitivity is your superpower. And that leads me into point number 3, how you use it to manifest better. Now, I need to explain something to you about how the universe works, and this will make sense when I explain to you how you can actually use your sensitivity to manifest. And the way it works is like this. The universe is reflecting something to you in this life. So we come down from the one consciousness to experience a sense of individuality. And the way that we get this individuality is by disconnecting from that oneness. We don't remember anything. We don't know anything beyond our experience. It's kind of like being put in the deep end when you need to learn to swim. And that's what life is here to do. And the rules were that everything around you in the experience is going to be a reflection of an internal state of being. And that internal state of being are your emotions. What you feel is what's going to be reflected to you. And if you feel good about yourself, you will get people who feel good about you. If you don't feel good about yourself, you'll get that reflection too. So sensitive people are much better at finding the line between emotional states of being than unsensitive people. Ignorance is not always bliss. It's just ignorance. And if you're somebody who feels different emotions at a different level, it might even be frustrating to you, to your family and friends around you, that they just don't get it. They don't get this intensity that you're trying to express. And maybe you will let it out through passion and art and things like that. And I actually believe a lot of hypersensitive people are inclined to being artistic because they want to express themselves in that way. So your oversensitivity is not a problem, it's a gift. Now, the way it helps you manifest is because you are so well aware of these different emotional states of self, the different vibrational versions of your existence. Tapping into different ones is a lot more accessible for somebody who's hypersensitive. So if you can actually identify the difference between immense anger, frustration, irritation, all these little things, or hybridization of all of these emotions, and you can tell the little elements that are in there, then you also have the same ability to get out of those emotional places and into somewhere else. And I'm going to show you how to do that wholeheartedly. Now, the reason that we need to know how to completely get into new emotional states of being and not hold on to any of the other little things that are linked to our ego and our identity is so that we can start manifesting a full reflection of the emotion we actually prefer to experience. And the way we do that is quite interesting. Before I jump into that, I want to highlight the difference between ego and spirit, or ego and your true identity. You are not this flesh. You are not the name attached to it that was assigned to you at birth or the one that you changed it to in life. That is not who or what you are. You are not a human. You have a human, and this human has a name. The real you that is in possession of this existence is the soul observing the story. So anything that is not linked to that soul, and I'm going to define what that is now to help it make more sense, but anything that is not that is ego. Now, the difference between soulful existence and ego is fear. Now, fear doesn't always come in the form of terror, and it doesn't always mean, oh, I'm so frightened. But this egotistical fear can actually be linked to things like, I don't want something to go a certain way. I don't prefer that outcome. And it might not seem like fear, but at the core, it actually is. And the way these outcomes are actually fear-based, if you think about it, I don't really want to have to deal with this meeting tomorrow where I messed up on my work. You might be anxious about where that leaves you. You might not fear the person, but you might fear the outcome. And to fear an outcome might also just be the discomfort, the idea in your mind of discomfort in that scenario. So that is ego. The soul doesn't exist in the realm or vibration or frequency of fear. The soul only exists in the frequency of love. If you think about it, love is the only thing that will ever overcome that fear. There are those stories about people who lift cars off of their children, burning cars off children, or whatever the situation is. They overcome all the fear to serve the love. Now, love for anyone, intense, true love for someone, will make you do things that negate fear. Because the outcome doesn't matter. If the outcome is your unaliving or you no longer being here, it's a worthwhile price to pay for someone you love. Jumping in front of a moving car to push them out the way, you will do that for somebody you truly love. The fear falls away. So it's something to understand, and this is what the Bible refers to when it speaks about God and the devil. The devil being fear and God being love. God can overcome the devil, and this is kind of the message behind it. I don't want to get biblical, that's not my vibe. Now I'm about to show you how to amplify your sensitivity in a way that will help you manifest your reality. And like I said, we have to let go of any of those ego feelings first, completely, and then jump into the new frequency. And before I do that, I want to let you guys know I respond to each and every comment on every single video that I upload. If you need to check that, go take a look at all of my past videos. There is always an in-depth response from me. So if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, anything you want cleared up when it comes to spirituality and how to be awake and how to manifest your life, leave them in the comments below. I will get back to each and every one of you. And don't forget, if you don't want to miss out on this type of content, to hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and you won't miss another upload. Now, diving into the next and most exciting part, how to amplify your sensitivity. So you're going to become hyper sensitive so that you can manifest your reality. It's about dropping the fear, to let go of the things you're scared of feeling. And the first thing we have to do is onboard discomfort. We allow ourselves to feel them in this moment right now. It's not always super comfortable, but we allow it to do what it needs to do. If you have a fear come up, I don't want to feel this because I'm scared of whatever that fear is, allow it to be realized. The worst case scenario, the emotions can't damage you. It can't damage you to sit there and allow yourself to feel things that you don't prefer feeling. So you allow yourself to feel the discomfort and the energy that needs to be processed. Now, what is it doing? If you don't like to feel it, it's coming in to remove the ego that is trying to use it as a shield. And that ego wants to take you away from peace and fulfillment. That's what the ego does. So peace and fulfillment is the goal of these uncomfortable emotions. So they're going to come remove the parts that are stopping you from experiencing that. Allow yourself to feel all of the emotions that are there. So you literally close your eyes, take a breath, and ask, what do I feel? And it will come to you. You'll feel it in your chest, in your head. You will feel it in your stomach. Maybe you burst into tears. I nearly had this the other day where I was speaking to someone who does a lot of spiritual work, and he was telling me a new concept. And I've been on my spiritual journey for 4 years. I'm not necessarily super new, but even this simple experiment of, okay, close your eyes and what do you feel? And in the way he asked in that moment, it just connected and I felt myself overwhelmed with emotion. So you allow yourself to feel these uncomfortable things. Maybe it's unfulfilled ambition. Maybe it's a sadness. Allow yourself to feel. It will fade. It will take away the parts of you that are not serving you, that are creating these uncomfortable feelings, and you let it go. And the next thing to do is to say, okay, I'm going to own what I've got. I'm going to own my situation, my circumstance. I'm going to say, this is mine. How do we do that? We pretend that everything that is going the way it's going around us, things we do and don't like, were our choice. Once we say it was our choice, I choose this uncomfortable fight I'm having with my mom. I choose this uncomfortable phase I'm going through in my relationship. I choose it and I own it. That sense of accountability will up your power. This is one of Eckhart Tolle's most famous perspectives that he shares. You allow yourself to be responsible and take ownership of your surroundings, of your situation. This is something I chose. What that does is instill a sense of purpose, even in the negative things. And what it is, then it all has a meaning if I chose it. Because what have you ever chosen that did not have meaning? Especially being a hypersensitive person, you know the ultimate goal, the outcome you want, is to feel a certain way. And for oversensitive people, it's often I want to feel a sense of relief from the burden of my oversensitivity. So that's why you want to onboard all of these negative emotions, let it remove the parts of you that aren't serving you, and then take accountability and ownership for your life by instilling the mindset that you chose it. And what this will do is humble you. It won't make you feel like the big ego. It won't make you feel like the thing that you're actually trying to get away from, knowingly or unknowingly. And it allows you to accept what is the way it is. And that will free you up from those egotistical emotions that you might hold on to while trying to get to a different frequency. And that's what you do next, is get to your new frequency. You allow yourself to redefine the emotional state of self you actually want to be. So you sit and go, well, what is it that I want to be? And you allow yourself to feel what it would feel like if you were to have those things already. And what that does is amplify your manifestation. For those of you who have questions, leave them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, I really appreciate the like. It does so much on the algorithm to help me get these videos out to more people. And I'd love to see your name pop up on my subscriber list and in the comments section, and hopefully on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Mad love and light.